Good day everyone, so hope you're all doing really well. Chasca's been out for a week and I haven't shown her in any combat scenarios. Now, your other Genshin content creators have already shown you Farina and Bennett and lots of damage showcases, so I guess it's finally my turn to, well, come clean as to why I haven't been showing Chasca. And the real reason is very, very simple. She's way too much fun to waste in the abyss. Look, here in the overworld, you can ignore certain terrain restrictions, you can blast things underwater. There's just so many cool things you can do with Chasca, just from a thematic perspective. So that's why I haven't really bothered that much with the serious TC or combat side of it. And I've just really been enjoying the character in Natlan. I find the gun to be incredibly fun to traverse with, the new region or the area there with the Flower Feather clan where you can have the infinite phlogiston. It's all super cool. Oh, and there's one other thing. Chasca is extremely useful outside of Natlan because on most of the slightly slanted slopes you can move up vertically with the character. This means it's even faster than going up vertically than with Shilonen or some of the other exploration units. This is one thing a lot of people don't talk about, but that is one of Chasca's superpowers. In any case, with all of the overworld glazing apart, what do we do with Chasca in combat? Well, as you can see, one of my early ideas here in the Spiral Abyss was to try a bit of a Sukokumon variant, because I'm a Kokomi main, I like Kokomi, and this seemed like a good team with a lot of the elements, Hydro, Electro, Pyro, to use Chasca in, and really it's not too bad of a mix. I think there could be a lot of optimizations you could do in terms of the builds and so on, but you can comfortably run a Sukokumon variant with Chasca and get decent results, although against the Hydro Tulpa it is a bit tricky. I don't think you can really run this team successfully, just like my aim, which is all over the place. So yeah, I think other than that, it's a fun variation you could try. Not a lot of other content creators try this, and you no doubt will have a TC or Furycraft taking a lot of issues with this. They always take issues with anything that is not like strictly Bennett, Farina, Xingshu, Shangling. It's always crazy. No, I'm actually lying. Some of them might be pretty cool. It's only a small subset. In any case, you can see here my poor Mualani's damage is just not there, so that's kind of the running theme for this video. It's not a skill issue, it's an artifact issue, which is kind of sad. Okay, so getting back to the Chasca teams, one thing that you would probably argue if you read Chasca's skill without playing her is that she could potentially be slotted into many teams because you're triggering lots of elemental reactions. But one of the things that I found is that you ideally want to have units that can buffer because she is effectively like a DPS, which does kind of limit what you can do with her. In contrast, characters like Sucrose have this ability to quick swap on and off and on and off, and that really helps a lot, whereas Chasca drives the elemental reactions, which in a sense is kind of like a benefit because you don't need to trigger anything from any other party members. But if you do have off-field elemental skill abilities, you can enhance these reactions and get some like very cool results. But it's not like it's with all of the teams that I've experimented on, I haven't really found the diversity that I really wanted from Chasca. And in terms of the combat performance, her output or damage output is expected. So it's unlike a lot of people where I'll tell you a character is either god tier or mid. I just find her to be relatively solid. If you've got good builds and stuff and you've like practiced with the character and the teams and you experiment, you can get decent results. It's like, I think they're very much the same with Mualani. Mualani's not a clunky character, she's not reset, impact or any of those things. It's just a character that once you've found her teams and you're comfortable playing with them and you've built them properly, you can get very well. In Mualani's case, you get like speed running and crazy results, but in Chasca's case, you can get good, consistent, decent results, and you just sometimes have to be careful depending on the enemies as to how you play, which is, I think, the skill cap with Chasca. In other words, where you position and sometimes how you allow the enemies to hit you or how you keep your distance can be very important. So something like being able to weave you put the Bennett circle close to the enemies, but depending on how they're going to hit you, you can weave in and out of that circle while still getting the buff. So small little technical things you can do here with Chasca. But other than that, some of the RNG with her weapon, whilst overall, if you average it out over many runs, it's not going to be that bad. Sometimes the RNG can be a bit not in your favor, but it is what it is. Personally, I like the C1R1 route for Mapland characters, which is what I've decided, and I think at C1R1, which is like the dolphin, whatever you want to call it, the game is pretty cool. It's the same here with Mualani in the background, and yeah, it's pretty fun, although I do think that the current combat scenarios in the Abyss just don't showcase the full extent of that. But in any case, that's what I've got to say about Chasca. Way more fun in the overworld, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Cheers.